Furious.
Is because they're absolutely bloody furious of the state of Britain today, and they want to reassert the fact that actually, shock horror, Jay, this is still Britain.
You're not understanding where the British psyche is. The British psyche, they're told constantly that it's racist, that it's nationalistic, to be patriotic and support the flag.
But the British public is biting back in a peaceful way, showing how passionately they feel about our society, our people and our culture, and the fact that they do not want it washed away by this woke leftist agenda that is being pushed by the government, the Labour Party and these bureaucratic bodies like local councils.
Honestly, you all need to get a grip. These flag-waving losers. I'm afraid these jobless yobbos are just acting like people in a school playground.
今回はイギリスの番組 GB ニュースから行き過ぎたグローバリズム政策に我慢できなくなった英国の現状が海外 SNS やニュース番組で連日特集される状況になっているのを皆さんご存知でしょうか？移民率 20% を超えた英国で人事ではない議論が紛糾しています。市民の間では英国旗を掲げるのは愛国心の表れであり平和的な抵抗だ。なぜ他国の旗は許可され、英国旗は制限されるのか、という国民なら当然抱くこの疑問をきっかけに、議論は英国社会のアイデンティティ、歴史認識、そして多文化共生の限界について議論が白熱しました。今英国で何が起こっているのか見ていきましょう。翻訳、世界の視点から。
Let's get the thoughts of my panel. Journalist and broadcaster Carol Malone. We've also got writer and commentator Benjamin Butterworth and former Cabinet Minister turned Reform UK member Sir Jake Berry. Carol, these flags, the British flags, are being hoisted now above everywhere. You know, why do you think some of these councils want to take them down?
It's, I mean, how dare they? You know, and I suggest if you have a problem with our flag, you're living in the wrong country. Go and live in a country where you want to fly their flag. Go to Palestine if you want to fly the Palestinian flag. It's interesting, you know. You mentioned the council there with that Pakistani Independence Day. Birmingham Council lit up their library in green and white to celebrate Pakistani Independence Day. Why? It's not Pakistan. Why can they do that? And why can't we fly the British flag? You know, there's all for years there's been this thing, hasn't there, that it's it offends ethnic minorities, that it's we're told that it's alienating ethnic minorities. But the bottom line is, a lot of ethnic minority people care far more about their British identity than a lot of white people. And I think it's, you know, we had a schoolgirl recently punished for wearing a Union Jack dress. Why are we supposed? There's this connotation now that it's racist, that it's nationalistic, that it's what's the word, triumphalist or something. But it's not. We love our country. I mean, I certainly love my country. I'm proud of the flag. I'm sick of being dragged back into the days of colonialism. You know, get over it. Colonialism happened hundreds of years ago. We can't keep apologising for what happened hundreds of years ago. This is Britain now, and lots of people love it. And you can, you know,
yeah, well, but it's also an open show of resistance. I mean, the only reason that people are deciding they want to hoist all these flags now and raise the colours
because they're furious
is because they're absolutely bloody furious of the state of Britain today. And they want to reassert the fact that actually, shock horror, Jay, this is still Britain.
This is absolutely fantastic. I am so pleased that people are doing it, and I can say if you're a GB News viewer, go out there, find your local lamppost, put the flag up, you know, get part of the hoist the colours campaign. This is absolutely brilliant because Britain has woken up and said, look, we have one culture, we live in a multicultural society, we have one culture, that's British culture, which is enriched by people who come here, and lots of them come here and proudly take part in our British culture, but the British public is biting back in a peaceful way, showing how passionately they feel about our society, our people and our culture, and the fact that they do not want it washed away by this woke leftist agenda that is being pushed by the government, the Labour Party and these bureaucratic bodies like local councils. Carol is right. We should be proud of our country. In fact, if you go to Commonwealth countries around the world, they're hugely proud. We call it colonialism. They call it, you know, the Commonwealth Partnership. They're hugely proud of it. Britain has woken up. Unless our politicians wake up to this really, really quickly. They're going to see themselves washed out of power.
Yeah.
Britain at the moment is a tinderbox. At the moment, people are peacefully, quite rightly, going around putting flags up that could so quickly turn sour if sort of faceless officials go and start pulling them down and putting up the rainbow flag or the Palestinian flag or whatever to replace it. This is brilliant. This is Britain at her best.
We do have a case study of this. That case study is Tower Hamlets, Benjamin, isn't it? Where we had Palestine flags lining the streets. You had Palestine flags, I think, at one point on council buildings. We've had them all sorts of places. It's been absolutely fine to have the Palestine flag. There was no safety issue for motorists, which is one of the excuses that they say now.
Tower Hamlets said lives might be lost. They've done it to save lives.
They also said the weight of the flags would damage the structures.
Well, look at that. I mean, those flimsy lampposts.
Those heavy nylon flags.
School children coming out of school to go to attend Palestine marches and all of that. But that same council is now saying we've got to take these St George's flags down. Well, why is that, Benjamin? Do you think they hate Britain?
Honestly, you all need to get a grip. These flag-waving losers. I'm afraid these jobless yobbos are just acting like people in a school playground.
How do you know they're jobless?
You don't just get because they've clearly got nothing better to do.
I want to be clear on something. When you say jobless yobbos, you're talking about the people that don't ever seem to go to work so that they've got time to attend every single Palestine march.
I'm talking about
people who've done this at night, presumably after work.
Yes.
Well, actually, plenty of them are in daylight, so that's clearly not the case. I'm talking about these people who've got nothing better to do with their lives than go to random lampposts and hoist flags, which is simply illegal, regardless of what flag it is. You're not doing anything patriotic by sticking up the England flag.
What law does it break? What law does it break?
Help anyone. Well, you know full well that...
What law does it break? You told us it's illegal. What law does it break?
Well, it's just like fly posting. That's illegal. You can't stick your Chinese...
This is our national flag. What law does it break?
Well, I bet you, if you want to chat GPT...
So you don't know.
Okay.
So you don't know it's illegal. You don't know it's illegal. You said it was illegal. I didn't say it was illegal. You said it was illegal, but you don't know because you're making it up.
No, you know full well that you can't just go around public property sticking what you like
what
on
about
it.
the Palestinian flags?
But these people need to get a grip. They're not doing anything for Britain by flying an English flag on a roundabout.
They are.
They're doing it because they want a fight and they want retweets and they've got nothing better to do.
Anything for Palestine by flying flags on lampposts or brainwashing kids to walk on the streets.
If we pass one law in this country, it should be that every single classroom has the British flag in and a portrait of the King. Just like the United States, they've got it in the United States of America. Let's reinstill on our young people a feeling of patriotic pride.
Just like Russia.
But you know what, Benjamin, though? Seriously, people are doing this now, I think, because they've had enough of being demonised in a way that I think you demonised them. But seriously, come on, these are people who are obviously proud to be British, proud to be English. They feel like we're losing our country. They feel like they've been shunned for so long, second-class citizens in their own country, and they decided to do a peaceful gesture of resistance. If you don't like it, why don't you leave?
Well, because this is the thing. I am patriotic. I'm proud to be British. I have a Union flag at home, right, which I put out on occasion.
So why do you object to this?
But no, because I don't spend my time thinking that you're helping your country or caring about people in your community by trying to pick fights and put flags up random.
Do you think this is better or worse than rioting?
And actually, I won't be lectured by someone that tanked this country for 14 years and then claims that sticking a St George's flag up is an act of patriotism. Be going and donating some food to your neighbours who are hungry.
This is so
I think
typical.
that would be better use of money than sticking
this is
some flags.
so typical of the view of the sort of London left. The elite in this country. They do not understand that working class communities around this country are on the edge, and it is far, far better. I'm sure we'd all agree. I'm sure we'd all agree. It is far, far better as a peaceful act of protest to put a flag on a lamppost than it is to repeat the appalling scenes, the disgraceful scenes we saw last summer with the riots. But Britain is a tinderbox at the moment, and these councils who are ripping them down, they're chucking a match in.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but notice some of these councils that appear to be doing most of the taking down, as far as I can tell. Now, maybe this is because these are the areas where most of them have gone up. I don't think it is, but you've got Tower Hamlets there, and you've got Birmingham, and, there's two areas there that do not, demographically speaking, do not have a huge white British population. I wonder if that's got something to do with it. I don't know. But look, shouldn't these councils just let let them fly the flag. I mean, it's the flag of this country.
If you're going to let an area fly a Palestinian flag or a Pakistani flag, why not a British flag in Britain? And it's actually censorship to not let them do that. He's saying it serves no purpose. It serves no purpose to have a Palestinian flag flying in Birmingham.
Correct.
You're not understanding where the British psyche is. The British psyche, they're told constantly that it's racist, that it's nationalistic, to be patriotic and support the flag. People confuse patriotism with nationalism.
Well,
they're two entirely different things.
And again, I will just say there's a supreme level of idiocy taking place here, because if you start taking flags like that down, well, guess what? People are just going to put more of them up. And they keep putting more of them up. And what is essentially seen as some kind of civil resistance movement, which is to say, actually, you know what, we've taken all sorts of BS here for the last however many years. We've had enough. No. We're going to put the flag up. Yeah, you start doing that. If you start taking them down, I'm sorry, but more and more of them will come up.
Last time I went down the Mall, there was a flag flying from every lamppost.
Yeah.
And even the King's getting in on this. There's Union flags on every lamppost in the Mall. It's got the royal seal of approval. Britain, get out there and do it.
All right. Well, and apparently even Sir Keir Starmer said that he spoke.
Quite right.
Yeah.
A spokesperson for Tower Hamlets Council said, while we recognise people wish to express their views, we have a responsibility to monitor and maintain council infrastructure. Where flags are attached to council-owned infrastructure without permission, they may be removed as part of routine maintenance. Yeah. We also contacted Tower Hamlets Mayor's office for comment from Luftar Rahmat, and we are awaiting a response. But we did get one from Birmingham City Council, who said people who attach unauthorised items to lampposts could be putting their lives and those of motorists and pedestrians at risk. We are continuing to do this every week and would ask that staff doing this work are allowed to continue this work unhindered.
国旗をネガティブに扱うことで何が推し進められるのか、いろいろと見えるものは、日本も英国も同じ状況のようです。国民の余裕があれば、他国からの移住を一定数許容でき、制度がしっかりしているからこそ、安心して受け入れられる。この前提を放置したままの多文化共生は逆に、対立や摩擦を生むことは当たり前の話ではないでしょうか？ネガティブなレッテルに負けず、後の混乱や対立を生まないため、制度設計をしっかりすることが大事だと EU 諸国から学べるはずです。準備や概算もなく、都合と綺麗事で国民の同意は得られない時代になり、利益や安全の担保なき政策が国民にノーを突きつけられるフェーズに入ったように感じます。日本はこれからどちらの方向に流れるのか、皆さんは世界的なグローバリズムの揺り戻しに対しどう考えていますか？ぜひコメントであなたの意見を聞かせてください。いいねとチャンネル登録もよろしくお願いします。